Hello and welcome back to Game 2 of this best of 3 to decide which one of these two teams will be going to Star Series and which one will be going to Pro Series. It is StarLadder Relegation matches time, and we already had one earlier today. I won't spoil the results, but if you watch my Twitter then you probably already know the answer to the question, as in who won that game. Of course, relegation matches are best of 3s. Winner of this will be going to Star Series, loser to Pro Series. aSpera comes from Star Series, Life comes from Pro Series. So that means that Life did really well in Pro Series, and aSpera did really not that well in Star Series. They didn't really do bad, by the way. They won 6 games, including one against Na'Vi, and they lost 9. And that's a lot more wins than normally we see in relegation matches of StarLadder, so it just means what an incredibly even season we've had for Star Series. Of course, no more group stages, as we are gonna have our LAN finals starting next week, Thursday. Taking a look at aSpera, they are on the Dire side. We have Life on the Radiant side. We've got an IO and a Bat banned out, OD, Naga banned out, and that means that Visage makes it through. As Storm, Respect ban, Life, removing it from the pool. Now once again, I'll tell you that aSpera, every single one of their games in StarLadder has been won when Sharvik played Storm. I believe. Maybe bar one. As in that I won with something else. But we're gonna see if aSpera can win without Storm, because Life is just banned out. Respect ban to Sharvik, Storm. Nature's Prophet Visage for aSpera. Strong start. They started like this in the previous game as well, though they had a Rubik instead of the Visage, but Visage was banned out, so that's your reasoning right there. Just having a solid offlaner for Tron and a nice support to go with it. We have a Gyrocopter and a Chen for Life, so a strong team fighting core for both of them. I mean, Chen can of course make sure that team fights for Life last longer, that they can sustain themselves longer, and Gyrocopter's a pretty heavy team fight hero. Or carry anyway, with the call down of course and the flat cannon. We have a Dragonite and a Darkseer removed from the pool by aSpera, so strong mid removed as well as a teamfight offlaner. And with Life banning out of course that's Sharvik Storm, as well as the Alchemist. So that's gonna be something that aSpera cannot pick up anymore, though I wasn't really expecting that one. We'll see what they end up going for next, what their train of thought was behind that Alchemist ban perhaps. We're still having the Lifestealer and the Weaver in the pool, by the way, both heroes of which we have seen quite a lot of lately. I'm also kind of curious if these two teams want to try something different, want to try something new, like Outer Titan, or Medusa, or Dro. We've seen all 3 of them, actually a couple of times over the last couple of days. Now it hasn't always worked out.
Dire team pick.
And we have a puck ban out for a pickup for Life, which is a very early puck. Because normally you pick up your, or at least normally, it has been a trend that teams pick up their mid for last because they want to secure some other heroes first, and selecting your mid normally gives quite a bit away from your lineup in terms of what you want to be doing and how aggressive you're going to be. And it gives the teams, of course, all the chance in the world to counter your mid hero, which in this case for the puck is going to be a Templar Assassin if aSpera wants to pick it up. Now Queen of Pain could also be one that you want to have up against that puck.
10 seconds remaining.
But at least something aggressive. Maybe even a Skywrath Mage themselves. We of course saw Skywrath in the previous game for Hasty Joe, and it didn't really work out as intended.
Dire team pick.
Well, there goes the Timbersaw, also a strong one against that puck. Just harassing him away from the lane. Though, of course, puck is a ranged hero, so we'll have some advantage there. But yeah, Clockwork picked up by Life, it's their offlaner. Timbersaw, gonna expect him to be mid with Lifestealer on the carry role and Nature's Prophet on the offlane. Lifestealer very solid carry though. We'll see how early he'll come online and how early Life will be able to do something here, because of course Life's Gyrocopter will be able to do okay up against that the Lifestealer, I think, especially if they're able to cog him in. And of course if Clockwork gets a force staff to get himself out of there, otherwise Lifestealer will just eat himself full on that Clockwork. Here comes the Rubik ban. aSpera knows that Life still need one support and will be the Bane. Solid pick. Crystal Maiden for aSpera though, that's an aggressive support combination right there if they want to try and go for it. We of course saw Life with the previous game with the Crystal Maiden. And they were definitely aggressive early on in the game. Now, if it worked out in the end, you know, not really, but at the start it definitely did. Let's take a look at what life is having in store for us and what aSpera is going to try to do to make sure that that yellow dot right there is not going to be the only yellow dot, and that there's going to be one of it appearing right there, so that there will be a third game. AKA, let's see if they can force out a game 3. We have got life. They're playing on their Radiant side. We've got Link, the support player, playing the Bane. We've got Ace taking on the Gyrocopter. Hester Joe Rotten will play the Puck. We've got Crit on the Chen, and that will leave there Noya playing the Clockwork. And that's gonna be everything of life, everybody of life, moving their way towards the bottom lane. They won't find anybody from aSpera, but perhaps they'll be able to, you know, kill off a Treant, which is gonna be... Oh, poor Treant. Run, Stumpy, run! Boom. 13 gold to Ace and 6 experience. Hells yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at aSpera. They are on the dire side this game. We're gonna have in the mid lane, Sharvik, playing a Timber Saw. Tron will take on the Nature's Prophet. On the top lane, we've got Blah Blah Fu playing the Visage as a support, of course. With Eid playing the Crystal Maiden, this will be a safe trial and all supporting Inquisitor on the Lifestealer. But because there is probably not going to be all that much on the top lane happening, I mean, Clockwork will be there, but he'll be very safe and all. We could have these supports rotate around pretty heavily. Crystal Maiden and Visage, a pretty good roaming combination if you ask me. You've got 2 slows, you've got a disable, and you've got 2 nukes. What more do you want? Not much. Not much whatsoever. Crit, picking up double damage when it's his first one. Will help him out in the jungle. I mean, he'll be there by himself. Eid already revealing him. Here comes Flares. And you know what that did? Made sure there was no camp spawning. Now the question is, will they actually think that was Clockwork, or will they try to counterward it? They'll still be able to pull this lane, by the way. Or perhaps they're gonna stack it still first. No, Crystal Maiden is just gonna farm, never mind that. Thought it was gonna stack or pull for either of them, but does neither in the end. Here comes another flare. Perfectly timed again. Noya on the ball here. Blocking those camps like a boss. It does mean, by the way, that we've got 2 free farming lanes at the moment, because Gyrocopter is free farming bottom while Lifestealer is free farming top. The question will be who will come online first. Now one thing is pretty clear, is that Lifestealer has got a built-in BKB, while Gyrocopter normally needs to still build his BKB before he can start building damage items, and therefore you could put Lifestealer slightly ahead in terms of coming online earlier. But we'll see if that's actually the case, because he doesn't really have that many great heroes to pair up with. A Timber Saw is not bad, but he's not the one to blink in. He's still gonna Timber Chain his way in, and he's not really gonna be that much of an Infest Bomb. Nature's Prophet could be an Infest Bomb, but he's actually still trying to make something happen here on this bottom lane, which is not all that successful at the moment. Trying to stop life from pushing down a tower by the looks of it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And perhaps even able to get himself a Wild Wing Ripper, but I don't think he can do that. Doesn't have enough damage for it, doesn't have the power, and he has to be careful, because once he's in a nightmare, he's gonna get Rocket Barrage, Test of Faith, and probably dead. Dying.
Dire's bottom
Killed,
tower is under
rather.
attack.
13 for 0
Are fortified.
for this puck. So you've got Sharvik sitting on 13 for 0 as well, so very even here on this middle lane. Tower on the bottom lane will end up going down. Treant's gonna try to come in to deny this. I don't think they can, though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Rocket Barrage doesn't really do that much damage to them, and
Dire's
that's at
bottom
least
tower
indeed the
has
first
fallen.
tower down. We'll get life a bit ahead here in this game in terms of farm for sure. We also have a push starting out on the top lane. Crystal Maiden still jungling in the meantime, why not? Getting some extra solid farming experience. As the flare is apparently... Oh, he missed this one. He missed it. This was the first one he missed. Was on par though. The rest of them. (18 to 0 for Sharvik, 20 to 2 for Hester Joe. Now if you've asked me like where's the first blood gonna be, I would normally say that I'm gonna wait for a support rotation to try and take down one of the mids. But with these two mids, I actually expect one of them to open point, and I don't know which one it's gonna be. But I'd say that maybe without help of supports, one of them is gonna die first. Perhaps these two are gonna try to go for a rotation. No dust, no smokes in their inventory. Let's take a look at Chen. He has got a smoke. But it doesn't look like Link is making any advances to try and make something happen. Perhaps right now Crit will try and do something. I mean, well, it's not really going to be the easiest with the Centaur there and nothing to set up with. I mean, he needs the Bane for that. Nightmare into Centaur Stomp, which is pretty decent. In comes the smoke. There comes the support rotation. Want to see if they can force Nature's Prophet to be bottom, and he's already on its way. Just TP'd himself in fresh from the top lane. Behind tier 2 tower. Why not? They find him. Nightmare to set things off. In comes TPs. Instantly. Rotation comes. Ink Visitor looking for a pickup. Tron will still be first blood, but the open will still come. Up on Ace. Rage goes on. Crit. A lot of trouble. Frostbitten. Killed off. Blabbafu takes it home. Perhaps they can take down the Bane as well. In comes another Soul Assumption in a second. Does he have the mana for it? No, he does not actually. And that's still going to be a kill though. Frostbite is there. 2 for 1. But still first blood going the way of life.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The only upside for that is for aSpera is that the first blood did not go the way of the Gyrocopter. It went the way of the Chen. Nice. That's the Joe. One more hit. Silence is there. Doesn't matter. Sharfik will... Well, I'm not really gonna call that stomp. He punched him to death. Nice chakram coming out, slowing him down, and of course you can try to phase shift that all you want, but when you come out of this phase shift, you'll still be slowed. You can still not run. With your brown boots. Noya in the meantime, because the support's left top lane, and because Lifestealer left top lane as well for a while, he actually got himself some more experience. He's level 3 right now. Still not really doing too hot in the levels though. He does have Bane hanging around him, but aSpera knows that. There is an observer right there. And we actually have Crystal Main making his way top again as well. Leaving Blabbafu in the bottom lane. With Nature's Prophet farming the jungle. Or at least he was. Until he kept the rune safe for Sharfik. Ace. 1k gold in his inventory. 41 to 9. He's the highest last hitter on the map though. He is being closely followed by the Puck, who's also on his team, of course. But he's doing really well on the farm. And of course also one tower going the way of life does help his gold levels. In comes Sharfik. You can't do that anymore. In comes the kill as well. One more hit is all that it takes. No, the regen rune keeps him up. Now in comes Blabbafu with the slow. Hessa Joe does have a phase shift. Will try to dodge something. Nope. Does only need to orb himself out. And enough stacks to get a soul assumption out for Visage to actually kill someone off. In comes Crystal Maiden. Want to try and do something to someone. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Life? Is it going to be Noya? Or is it going to be Link? It's going to be Noya. In comes a Nova up on both though. Noya, one more hit. Can they do it? In comes Ace with the cooldown. Nature's Prophet coming in as well. No, he cancels his TP. And Eid will fall. And that's going to be a Nightmare opening Visitor as well. He does have a Rage left though. And he goes opening up on Ace. In comes Sharfik as well. Looking for the kill. Blabbafu able to soul assumption. Someone goes for the Bane. Doesn't get the kill in the end. And Noya making sure that that's going to be a safe Bane right now. But he himself might not be sure of his life. Battery Assault. Might be able to do something here. Sharfik does not have any mana left. In comes the orb, in comes the puck, and down goes the Sharfik. 3 for 4 in total now on the end score with life. Still ahead in gold by 2k. Experience graph though going the way of aSpera. With Lifestealer still not dying, being involved in 3 out of the 4 kills. A lot of people hanging around here for life. 4 heroes. Only missing the Gyrocopter. They must be able to make something happen here, otherwise it's not going to be worth it. If they can't kill Inquisitor, that's going to be it. Inquisitor will rage himself out of this. Still the cogs might be coming out. No, nice chakram slowing Noya down. Battery assault for his way out. In comes a Dream Coil up on 3. Looking for something more. The silence is there, and Blalafu will end up getting picked off first. Sharfik tries to get himself away. The Centaur Sums will end that one though. Bane with the last hit, but Inquisitor lives still. No kills in return. 3 heroes keeping 4 heroes busy. Oh, hello Eid. Crystal Maiden, Invis Rune. Not sure if he can do something by himself though. But he'll be able to see where everybody of life is going to, and perhaps he can get a kill with the help of the Lifestealer, even though Lifestealer is still very low on mana. Still Bane and Lifestealer, Bane and Chen hanging around here. Crystal Maiden's Invis Rune about to disappear. And this is all time wasted. 2 level 6s by the way. You have a Fiend's Grip and you have got your Hand of God. And of course, Mana Boot for crit, so that will mean that Bane has indeed got mana for his Fiend's Grip soon. There we go. Didn't wait for Noya to come around, which is kind of sad. He pings, says, I'm sad. More TPs coming in. They really want to take down Inquisitor. Good luck. Crystal Maiden will be ready to give her life for him. But yeah, we've got Blavafu in the way as well. Nature's Prophet can TP in if he wants to. He has got a Hand of Midas, by the way, so he doesn't need to worry about that one getting delayed if he dies. Noya might have a hookshot ready. Which these do they want to fight. We also got Timbersaw on his way in. Would be 4 versus 4. Does he actually back off? Looks like it. And we still don't have... No, he goes just via a different route. We still don't have life backing off. Flares. Getting some vision. They know where everybody is. We're waiting for perhaps a hookshot if life wants to initiate. Then a hookshot is the way to do it. In comes the hookshot up on Inquisitor. Battery assault straight away. Open wounds as well. Slow him down. The cogs and the Fiend's Grip coming up on Inquisitor. But they'll be able to stop that from happening. Inquisitor, he'll still die. Never mind. Puck with the last hit. Bane goes down for him as well, though. And Hessa Joe. Hand of God is there. In comes Ace with the cooldown, with the Flak Cannon, with the Rocket Barrage. And he kills off almost everybody. No, that's not true. He only killed off Blavafu in the end. I really thought he was going to get the Crystal Maiden as well. But in the end, it's 4 heroes that die on life. With only Crit being able to walk away from that location. 5 heroes were there for life. 5 heroes were there for aSpera as well. And in the end, of course the high prior target dies, Inquisitor. But they get so much more in return for that. One of the first fights that Sharfik is actually staying alive in. Gold graph going back towards the 0 line. Experience graph shows it a bit more clear. That fight indeed taken by aSpera. We do have Gyrocopter doing really well though. He's got drums, he's got a phase. He's sitting as high as net worth, though of course he's being kept up by the Nature's Prophet, who will be getting ahead at some point because of his Hand of Midas. And Timbersaw is doing really well as well. But one thing that we can see from this graph is that Lifestealer is not there yet. He needs to have his drums as well before he can actually start pulling something together. And I mean, Gyrocopter is just quite a bit ahead of him at the moment. Quite a bit. Noya, finding himself some familiars. Hook shuts himself up to Blalafu. He comes a slow. Familiar stuns as well. Soul Assumption comes in as well as the Nova. Will there be a Frostbite? Yes, there will. Noya just hook shotted himself to death by the looks of it. The Soul Assumption will finish him in the end. And Bane didn't know what was happening to his teammate right there and didn't know how fast he had to get out of that place. Started off as an easy kill for a support. Ended up in a quick death. Hesta Joe still not got his Blink Dagger, but he is fairly close. He's sitting at 1800 gold. Just should prevent from fighting right now. Just not fight, not die, and he'll be fine. And of course, with that, he can start looking for some fights. And he needs to, too. And he can get help from the Bane because he still has his Fiend's Grip, or again has his Fiend's Grip. I mean, the kill potential in life is quite big. They just have to find the opportunities. And at the moment, they only have been trying to fight top, where there's the only Observer as well that they have in the game. But I think they have to start going to places where aSpera is not expecting it as much, because I think right about now, aSpera will know that life will try to find top all the time, every time. There's your Blink Dagger. Let's see if the level of aggression will change for Hester Joe. He's been getting some nice Dream Coils, by the way. Sharfik. Trying to get some more farmer for himself as well. I mean, he did not get that much in the mid lane, apparently. Not enough, at least. Died twice as well, didn't really help out. Ink Visitor, same story. He now finally has his drums. Oh, fighting on top. Hand of God already used. Nightmare will hold Eat safe for a while. Clockwork will still get picked off. And down also goes the Crystal Maiden. Lava Fu goes for a Soul Assumption. Ace. One more hit. And Urn Charge to counter Urn Charge. Doesn't matter. Timbersaw still with the kill in the end. 1 for 2. Going the way of aSpera once again. Then comes a Nightmare. Sharfik. In some trouble, but who's in more trouble? Crit. Infest out on one of his creeps. Crit will go down. Sharfik lives. Bane once again. Not able to help out. Still 2 creeps being attempted to get killed by nice stomp. By aSpera. Which is one of the more annoying things. Like having a nice pickup by the Visage actually. As you play a Chen, creeps are a big part of your hero. And you don't want to have to go into the jungle every single time once you respawn to get your creeps back, because it's just plain annoying. Especially if your creeps are taken by the Nature's Prophet. That's even more annoying. Nature's Prophet who's still going for a Shadow Blade. As at this moment, we look at the net worth, we look at the graph. That net worth graph that is. That gyrocopter is the only thing that's keeping the boat afloat for life.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You may call it their life jacket. Oh, I'm sorry I made such a bad pun. But hey, that's life. Oh, I did it again. Sorry. Try not to. Especially now that they're bad. Bad puns are the worst.
Don't mind me.
The thing is, I notice when I make bad puns and then I call myself out on it. Shouldn't do that. Should pretend it was an accident. Anyways, Clockwork. He has the levels. Levels are quite decent. Not the best in the world, but then again, he was an off-lane Clockwork up against a tough lane for him. Visage Crystal Main, definitely one of the more tougher lanes. Oh, open wounds, Ace. Why you come out so far? In comes a Fiend Scoop from an Ink Visitor though, but doesn't really matter because nobody does the damage to him. Down goes the Nature's Prophet still. Sharfik might be in some trouble. Tries to get himself out, will end up getting picked off. It's 2 for 1. Ace was able to stay alive. He went into the jungle. Ink Visitor now in a lot of trouble. Opens up, rages, tries to TP himself out, gets netted by the Chen creep. Tries to eat himself up on Noya again, but will go down. In the end, aSpera getting the best of this, and Ace, being the best bait there can be, lives. 3 for 0, the kind of fight that life definitely needed to have. And all of a sudden, Puck back inside this game, showing off his shiny Blink Dagger. Showing off his levels as well. He's level 11 at the moment, which is the highest level in the game. We do have 3 level 11s up on aSpera. With, oh, Eid. Can he TP himself out? Nope. With now a level 12 upon Hester Joe. He is the highest level on the map right now.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Tron's still able to pick off the tower. That's pretty decent for him. He's got a Shadow Blade, so he can get himself away safely. It's the first tower to go down on the side of life. Of course, there's already the tier 1 tower down on the side of aSpera that went down very early on. Now, normally when you take down a tower very early, you want to, like, you do it for a reason, because it's not making your lane easier by any means. You're just giving even more space to your enemy. Like, normally your enemy can fight in between this and your tower, so right here. And you kind of gave him that extra space so that he can farm from this point onward to even, like, feel more safe while farming. So you pick up a tower early on to get yourself that early gold advantage so you can capitalize on that and then grow from that point onward, as we see a lot of TPs coming in to try and protect this tower. The tower will get perhaps denied. No. Lava Fu goes for a too late. Fiend's Grip up by Sharfik. Sharfik will end up getting picked off. In comes the hookshot as well. Noya trying to go for something. Has to get himself out of there though because Ink Visitor is on his tail. Soul Assumption will clean him out. Visage will pay for that though. Ace picks him up instead. 2 for 1 so far with Ink Visitor not able to get a kill in here. In comes the Dream Coil up on the Crystal Maiden. Eid goes for a Frostbite and Freezing Field, and he does quite a bit of damage before he ends up going down. Bane, the lowest one, but Urn Charge will keep him up. 3 for 1 in the end. Clockwork dying for the Timber and the 2 supports. Good pickup for life once more. On top of that, they got the tier 1 tower. And once again, they are ahead. I mean, they got this advantage with the tower, and then they got some more, but then they lost it all with the fight that we saw happening on top earlier on. Tron getting dusted up. In comes the Nightmare. In comes the Cavalry. It is crit on his Tiger. Test of Faith, and that should be a kill. Bane with the last hit. In comes Sharpik. Has to get himself out of here, though. Flak Cannons and Rocket Barrages waiting for him. As Noya might still be wanting to go for a hookshot. He has got one again in 8 seconds. He's got the vision as well. Might go for the Crystal Maiden even. Just an easy pick-off.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looking for it. Could be resulting into the last outer tower of aSpera going down, which is a lot of map control for them. In comes a brain step. In comes a cooldown as well. Crit still taking a lot of harassment here and will end up getting picked off. Bane as well. 2 kills going away for aSpera. Nature's Prophet still buys back into this one to make sure that he's here with this fight as well as they try to chase life away. They get the puck. Want to go for the Clockwork. Can they also slow down Ace? They really want him. Here comes the open wounds. He tries to TP himself out. Can they do something to stop that? No, they cannot. They still pick up the Clockwork Crystal Maiden in the end with the kill for that. But they cannot pick up the Gyrocopter, but at least they will get another tower. So that means that the towers after this tower is down are going to be even once again. And aSpera getting themselves some extra control back with that fight, of course, in their hands. It's 16-17. And the gold graph is right back at 0 where it belongs. The Gyrocopter still ahead of the net worth. Still the main difference is that there's 3 cores doing well on aSpera in terms of farm. I'm counting Nature's Prophet as one of the cores because the later this game goes, the more of an impact he will have in terms of split pushing, control if he gets a Scythe of Ice, and just overall damage. If he gets himself, for example, a Desolator of some sort. Well, Life is only sitting on 2 cores with having their Gyrocopter doing really well, still building towards his BKB. And of course the Puck doing well as well. He's going for a Scythe of Ice as his second item after his Blink. But it's still 2 versus 3. You can compare the Puck in a way to the Nature's Prophet in terms of control with the only with the items. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing that you can compare up to the Dream Coil and the Silence. Lifestealer will take the Aegis. aSpera making sure that they have got an edge still coming into the mid to late game as we're reaching 20 minutes. Tier 2 tower mid got dropped as well, by the way. And that's of course going to put the towers in favor of aSpera because their tier 1 top is still standing. Was that a Bloodstone ready? That was a Bloodstone ready. Hello Sharpik, welcome to the game. After dying 4 times, his mid lane went far from smooth. And with the Bloodstone now, he should be back on track, or at least he should be back in the game. Ancient's being taken 4 staff finally by the Clockwork. We knew that he wanted to have that, as I mentioned during the draft. You kind of want to be able to lock down the Lifestealer and the cogs and then get yourself the hell out of there, because otherwise you'll just die. Let's take a look at some more items, perhaps if we missed something. We already know the Bloodstone, of course, up on Sharpik. Nature's Prophet going for the Scythe of Ice as his second item as well, or second, third, if you want to call the Hand of Midas his first item. Shadowblade, Scythe of Ice. We've got ourselves a Crystal Maiden who has got smoke and just smoked up her allies. Doing pretty well, to be honest, in terms of net worth. I mean, she's got treads. She's the lowest net worth on the map, though, don't get me wrong. She's been able to buy wards. She's got treads and a bracer, so she's a very survivable Crystal Maiden. Very sturdy one. That means that, because she kind of needs it, because you need to be able to at least survive, for example, a Call Down, or a Dream Coil, or something like that. Or a Rocket Barrage. Crit. Gets found out. Open Wounds already slow him down. In comes a Nova, in comes a Frostbite. Down he goes. It's not the kind of target that you want to get with your smoke gank. But it's a target they'll gladly take. They did not shut him down though, because he already has got his mechanism. Well, they did not shut him down in terms of real items that he desperately needs. Mechanism and Arcane Boost. That's basically his core items right there. So he has got those. He's going to be happy with that. They're going to try and protect their tier 1 top. In comes the Timber Chain looking for Noya. Noya has got a 4-staff show. Should be able to 4-staff himself to the low ground. Does so. Is safe. Should be safe. Taking a look at Inquisitor. So continue looking at items from aSpera. He's going for a Basher. Not surprising because Gyrocopter will have a BKB. Actually, he already has one. And you want to still be able to do something against him to stop him from attacking. Because you kind of need to stop him from attacking. So Basher is the one way to go, and of course at some point perhaps even getting himself an Abyssal, stopping him completely. Not relying on luck. Visage, seemingly the number 4 in this one, of course, going for a Aghanims, and he wants to just have his third familiar. Taking a look at Hester Joe, of course we already mentioned him because he was going for a side of ice, still going for Sharphic. Is infested by Inquisitor, that's going to be crit down once again, maybe they can get another one. Cooldown comes down, up on both, in comes the Silence, Dream Coil up on both, Hookshot in as well, Inquisitor and Sharphic. Where is your cavalry? Not arriving, in comes now, maybe he doesn't have a cavalry at all. Familiars neither, Sharphic still alive from this Inquisitor as well, but in comes the Fiend's Grip, locking in Sharphic, Inquisitor, you might want to get yourself out of there. No, in comes his team, Nature's Prophet wants to go for the Bane, couple hits needed, there's a Nightmare there, stopping Tron, and Noya, he is not going to get so lucky, or is he? Familiar still chasing him down, Tron still chasing him down, in comes the Sprout, should be enough with the Familiars hitting him as well. That's going to be 3 for 2 in the end. Losing Sharphic, but gaining themselves the Gyrocopter is a pretty big pickup, for sure. And of course, there's no Bounty Hunter in this game. Unlike last game. No Bounty Hunter is kills that are traded are just traded. Nothing more, nothing less. And it was of course 3 for 2. Going in favor of aSpera, especially since they also took down the Gyrocopter, who used his first BKB charge for that fight as well. Which is a pretty big deal because the later you go, the lower you want that BKB charges, BKB to be, and you just, yeah. The shorter you want the duration to be, that is. So it's good to pick up a 10-second BKB charge without losing the fight for it. 1400 gold up in the Bane, looking for well, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Ghost Scepter, but he has to be very careful with that. Ghost Scepter or Blink Dagger is probably one of the best. Get himself in position fast. Ghost Scepter, of course, to survive from the Lifestealer, otherwise a Force Staff. Does a bit of both, getting himself away from the Lifestealer and getting himself into position fast. We already saw the items with the Chen, who was going for a Force Staff of himself. We already saw the items with the Gyrocopter as well, who's sitting on 2300 gold. And I think that's everybody in terms of items that we started off so long ago. By this time we can start over again, because Nature's Prophet just completed up his Scythe of Ice. A great item for him to have, previous fight definitely helping with that, while Puck was of course kind of slowed down in that one. And Nature's Prophet is actually right now highest on net worth. He's even higher than the Gyrocopter. Bottom lane, crit, tries to get himself out, runs for it. Familiars, looking for the stuns. In comes the Hex from the Nature's Prophet. Up on the Bane. Sprouting him up. Crit already dead. Nightmare coming off up on Blabafu, but I don't think it's going to matter all that much. Soul Assumption comes out. Brain Set will keep him up for a little while longer. Look at the Courier fly in the meantime. Doesn't matter though. Nature's Prophet with a kill. Clockwork still will go down as well. Inside his cogs. Keeping Eid and Blabafu with him, but it doesn't matter. 3 extra kills going the way of aSpera, who are looking strong, and all of a sudden they are 7,500 gold ahead in this game. Experience graph, same story here. Life has had a good start again, but couldn't capitalize on their advantages and just kept losing ground. Did not get enough in return for the kills that they got. And all of a sudden, they're left without tier 1 towers. They're only getting 2 outer towers left up, 2 tier 2 towers, which is going to be reduced to 1 soon, because I don't think a fortification is going to back aSpera off.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And that's going to be a tier 1 tower, tier 2 tower down, so only 1 tier 2 left standing, which is the bottom one, which is why we see Inquisitor pushing bottom lane out already. I think that's just going to be the logical proceedings for aSpera. Take down all the outer towers, go for the next Roshan, which is going to be up again in 4 minutes, and then just go for the high ground if they can. Of course, Life is going to try and do what they can to stop that from happening, and perhaps we're even going to see Ace going for the Rapier, which is of course the Desperation Rapier. But, well, they kind of need it at the moment. 12k after that last tower, going the way of aSpera. It's looking pretty bad. Experience, same story. Just same numbers. An Inquisitor now, after his Basher, goes for the, what seems to be an Assault Cuirass, having that armor advantage over their enemies. Yep, Assault Cuirass it is. Crystal Maiden, 1600 gold for her. We've got the mechanism up on Blabafu. In comes a hook shot. Noya getting himself Inquisitor and force stops himself out. In comes a Fiend Scooper as well. Where's the damage? Rocket Barrage comes out, but the rage was already there. And that's gonna keep Inquisitor safe. BKB turned on by Ace. Looking for the next hero. Looking for Blah Blah Foo. It's not gonna be enough for Blah Blah to stay alive. He'll go down. At least the Radiant Courier got picked off, so that's a trade right there. It's not yet over though, because Sharvik and Tron trying to get themselves away from here. In comes Hester Joe. Orbs himself forward, silencing up Sharvik. In the meantime, we have got Tron getting chased down, killed off. Sharvik still trying to get himself away from this. He's got Timber Chains to keep himself ahead of Hester Joe. The orb flies in though. Can he actually Timber Chain himself towards the other side? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. That homing missile is not going to kill him off either, and that should keep him safe. 2-4-0. Not 2 for a Radiant Courier. Let's see if that Courier was carrying anything of importance. Nope. Was empty. Good fight for life. Losing a Courier for it. Meh. They'll delay the pushes from aSpera. They'll delay everything, and they might even get a tier 2 tower for this. Getting themselves some extra gold up to get more of their items ready. Get perhaps a side device for the puck if he gets the last hit for it. Nope, which he doesn't. Force staff is ready now by the Chen though after that tower. We got the Bane sitting on 2100 gold. If he wants to go for his Blink Dagger, he could. And they go for the tier 1 top next. aSpera doesn't want to fight this just yet. 11 seconds until their Nature's Prophet comes back. Perhaps I feel like they could fight this. If Nature's Prophet TPs them top straight after, they might be able to make something happen. We have an infested Lifestealer sitting in Sharvik though. And they're actually not planning on going anywhere but bottom perhaps. Tier 1 drops, Hester Joe with the gold. Now has enough gold for his side device. And that might mean a start for life to make a bigger difference in these fights. Gyrocopter already back to farming on the bottom lane, sitting on 2900 gold. Could be going for an MKB, if so, then he has a complete 80 gold. Which is a safer option, obviously. Safer than the Gyrocopter going for the Rapier. And the way that last fight looked, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for the safer option, because they're not out of this yet. They won't try to fight for the Aegis, I think, though. I mean, we're gonna assume that they know that this is going on, that they took the timer. But they don't feel secure enough to go for a fight for the Aegis, so they'll just let it go. Inquisitor. Yeah, it's gonna go for the, still almost has Assault Crest ready, and there is yourself the Aegis for Inquisitor as well, and you have yourself your MKB on Ace, on his Gyrocopter, level 16 as well, while everybody of aSpera moves bottom. And they'll make it no secret that they are looking to push this tower. Nature's Prophet in the meantime split pushing on the top lane. And he can of course be bottom anytime that he's needed. Maybe coming from behind, getting himself some Hex. Down goes the tier 2. Will they continue pushing here? Waiting perhaps a bit more for the top lane to push in a bit more. In the meantime, Ace still trying to farm as much as he can. Because right now, I mean, he might have an MKB. But the thing that he doesn't have is a buyback. And at this point in the game, it's quite important to have a buyback. Because you kind of need to have a buyback. It's just that simple. If you lose a fight now, you'll lose part of your base. And I don't think you can really afford that. I don't think life can really afford that. So you kind of need to have that buyback to make sure you don't lose your base. Well, lucky for life, it is actually aSpera that's backing off. They want to have everything in their favor when they push out. So they already have got the Aegis, which is awesome. But they want to have all 3 lanes pushed out. So that life might be forced to, you know, split up their resources, aka put a hero top to counter push that one out or something like that, so they can go in 4 versus 5, or maybe pick up a hero outside of the base of life and then go in when they know it's 4 on 5 as well. Those kind of things. Those are the ones that we should be looking for, and we've got ourselves quite a bit of wards up, by the way. Bottom lane at least completely covered. Of course, there's also a ward here for life. They don't have a ward up on the high ground though. That's actually not that bad, because this is the most obvious word that you can think of in a situation where aSpera is. This is the word that you want to have. An observer there, that is. And that's going to be the first one that gets countered as well by life. So placing them in the middle of the lane is something that people don't expect. Something that they're not going to instantly counter unless they know for a fact that there is a ward there. Which they only know if they maybe fight there, and comes Noya perhaps with the hookshot. He knows that there is someone there. Sees Inquisitor. Doesn't go for it in the end. Doesn't want to. Not by himself anyway. This team would be too far away from that. We got a 4-staff in the end by the Bane. So as said, it does both of the two things that I wanted it to do. You can get yourself in safety from the open wounds from the Lifestealer, and you can get yourself in position for a Fiend's Grip. And that's your Assault Cuirass ready, by the way, on Inquisitor.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
2100 gold up on the gyrocopter. He's got his MKB. He's got his buyback. But if they wait although too much longer, aSpera are gonna get more and more ahead because we know that they have 3 of the cores. Well, Life only has really 1 right now because I'm not sure if we can count Joe still with a core. I mean, he's got himself the control inside the Vice. But in terms of raw damage, he's not gonna be doing enough to kill off the Lifestealer nor the Timbersaw. They need more team fight for that also, and they just don't have enough. A gyrocopter, there's a lot of pressure on him. And if they get the Hex on him, which now Timbersaw has as well, he's done for. Double Hex. Good luck. BKB, down to 8 seconds. Not that low, that by the way. Still pretty decent. Oh, that's a Joe. Hexes up Tron, but he gets hexed up instead by Sharfik. Gets picked up by Purest Bait.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And they'll just try to push. Tron was actually thinking about TPing top. He actually still does it. He's gonna just try to push, knowing that there's no backdoor protection because the creeps are in the base in the bottom lane. He can just go for the tier 3 right there. Even if aSpera doesn't get anything done here on the bottom lane, he'll still be able to do quite a bit of damage on the top lane by himself. Inquisitor rages out. That's gonna be tier 3. And that's gonna be only Noya making his way over. He's got 1 dust though. If he catches him, perhaps he can make something happen. And they might not have gotten the tier 3 bottom, but they got the tier 3 top. Nice split pushing. And Inquisitor just continues top. I mean, he still has it Aegis. They hex up on Link and he'll go down. Bane dies. BKB turned on by Ace, tried to do what he can, but it's not gonna be enough. In comes the freezing field. Eid gets interrupted straight away by the Chen. Frostbite there. And a Soul Assumption to send him on his way. He'll back off towards his tier 4s. In the meantime, Fortification gets forced out. aSpera still take down the tier 3. Familiar's getting resummoned. Blalafu locked in Coxo will go down here. Inquisitor might lose his Aegis as well, but no, he armlet toggles and he goes back in. He actually goes for the puck, who phase shift and who will get picked off. Sharfik goes down as well though. Crit, still frostbitten, 4-staffed into safety. Noya cogs himself into safety as well. Ace still alive in this. Picks up the Aegis in the end. Tron TP's back in. Hexes up Ace with the right clicks with the Familiar. Might be enough. In comes the double kill for Tron with the Nature's Wrath. That's gonna be buyback upon buyback upon buyback. And we are gonna be having Noya and Ace back in this. But the racks are already down. Of course, Tron already taking care of the racks on the top lane as well. Fiend's Grip. Inquisitor. Nice stun by the Familiar, and Inquisitor still running from this. He has got another rage in 8 seconds. Might not be living to tell the tale though. Nope, goes down. Still though. Nature's Prophet. MVP. That's how it goes. How it goes. Crystal Maiden. I was already wondering if she was going to be the only one to survive, but the hookshot from Noya made sure that she didn't. They have got, of course, the award there, and that made sure that she got caught out. Once again, by the way, if Life lose this game, they will be going back to Pro Series, where they started off in, and aSpera will be going back to Star Series, which they played in previous season as well, of course. So this is what we're watching. We're watching Relegation for StarLadder. Loser goes to Pro Series, winner goes to Star Series, with 1 team of each. The lower, or one of the lower ones of Star Series being aSpera, and one of the higher ones of Pro Series being Team Life. Right now, aSpera, they won game number 1, and they're looking strong to take game number 2 as well. And Life really cannot afford to let this happen. We've got Noya building up towards his BKB. Still doesn't have it though. We have got the gold graph going towards a 20k in favor of aSpera. Experience graph, a little bit less excessive, but still 12k in the favor of aSpera. It's tricky to come back from, and I mean, there's not really something that we would say from life like, okay, they've got this and this mega hard carry that can win the game 5-on-1, like for example Phantom Lancer, or they've got this big team fight wombo combo that they can throw out and win the game with, like for example Darkseer, Matt Blackwell, who knows what else they can throw out that kind of combination. They just don't have that, and it's risky right now because aSpera is just very tanky to take down, so even ganking is not going to be easy. They have got a lot of control to buy time for their teammates to come. Both teams, by the way, smoke up. We've got aSpera smoking up. We've got, of course, a smoke up here too for the Jenna, for the Crystal Maiden, but I'm not quite sure what, and for the Clockwork, not Crystal Maiden, of course, is on the other team, but I'm not quite sure what they can get with that. In comes Sharvik with an Infested Lifestealer. He's gonna look for a pick-off, gonna look for a target. Chen will be a good target to take. If you can only find him. Doesn't find him. Timber Chain doesn't get up the high ground. Yeah, Ace turned on his BKB. That's a waste. In comes a Hex. Up on Hessa Joe. Nightmare will keep him safe for a little while. Rex still go down though. Bane force-staffs himself into safety. And everybody of life gets themselves out of harm's way. But from behind, in comes still the Chen. And he might be going down. Soul Assumption still hits. Walking up the high ground. Noya as well. Cogs might keep him safe. In the meantime, Tron getting himself out, getting himself dusted up, hooked up as well, and that's gonna be one Nature's Prophet down the drain, buys himself back. In comes a Dream Coil, up on 2. Call down comes in as well, but Ace already tries to try and get himself away. Can't make it happen though. Nice Cogs, keeping Inquisitor in, but Noya force-staffing himself out just in time. Hessa Joe still looking for a pickup on the support, can't find it as Crit goes down. Also buys himself back. Now Hessa Joe will go down though. That's gonna be another pickup for aSpera, who have not lost a single target, not even one of their supports. Down goes the Clockwork as well. And they'll rotate mid, where Nature's Prophet is already bashing on the racks. And this is the last racks that are standing before Mega Creeps. There are the Mega Creeps. Ace gets sent back home after just putting on his BKB. Tron might actually go down for the second time here. Does use his Nature's Wrath, and it looks like he'll just live, because Ace is the last one alive for his team. The GG gets called. It is Life that will have to go back to the Pro Series. Well, aSpera keep their spot in Star Series. Of course, this was game 2 of the best of 3 to decide that one. And in 2 games. The first one a bit more convincing than the second one, but the second one definitely still convincing as well. aSpera takes out Life. And one more important thing to note is that aSpera won without a Storm Spirit. Most other games won a StarLadder Star Series are won with the Storm Spirit, as well as the previous game, of course. But this one won with Sharvik Timbersaw. That's how it is. Anyways, thank you for watching. Of course, you were watching Shiver, that's me. If you want to support me, you can follow me on Twitch. Please do so. You can also follow me on Twitter @Shiver Gaming. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, I guess it's called, @Shiver Gaming. I upload all my VODs of all the games that I cast there. And of course also like me on Facebook, on Shiver Gaming. Ooh, I have very high originality with names, but, you know, keep it simple, keep it easy. Just one name, it's all that you need to know. Anyways, there's more competitive Dota going on tonight, I think. You might still be able to watch... Well, that might actually be over. Fnatic vs. 1, which is a best of 3 that was going on for the EMS Cup. There's also going on... WePlay. I guess Rock's Kiss was up against... Poseidon. With 2 games in total, so they might have already ended as well, because they started at the same time, I think. Anyways, that's about it. That was it for me as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.